Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How can I help?
Cool. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen. It appears to be showing the Blender application. Is there anything specific you'd like me to look at?
I think this AI might have just made like half the videos on this channel completely redundant. Yeah, could you tell me how to create a plane?
Yes, I can help with that. Okay, to add a primitive object in Blender, you can use the Add menu. It's located at the top of the 3D viewport. Do you see it?
Yes, I can.
Great! Once you click Add, a menu will appear. Hover over Mesh in that menu. Another submenu will appear showing different primitive objects you can add, like a plane, cube, circle, etc. Which one would you like to add?
I'm going to start by adding a plane.
Okay, I see that you've added a plane. It should now be visible in your 3D viewport as a flat square. Is there anything else you would like to do with it, or would you like to explore more Blender features?
Let's add a sphere to go with it.
Okay, you want to add a sphere. Would you like me to walk you through the steps to add it like I did with the plane? Or would you like to try it on your own using the same method?
I think I can do this myself.
Okay, I'll wait then. Let me know if you need any help, or if you'd like me to check your work.
Okay, I've added a sphere. How can I move these objects around?
You can move objects using the Move tool, which is located on the left toolbar. It looks like an icon with 4 arrows pointing in different directions. You see it?
Yes, I think I've got it.
Great! Once you've selected the Move tool, you can click on an object in the 3D viewport and drag it around to reposition it. You can also move it along a specific axis by dragging the red, green, or blue arrows that appear when you select the object. Have you tried moving the sphere yet?
Yes, I have. I've moved it up, so it's sitting on the plane now.
Perfect. It looks like you've successfully moved the sphere. Is there anything else you would like to explore, like scaling or rotating the objects?
Yeah, I'd love to be able to scale the plane. How do I do that?
Okay, to scale the plane, you'll want to use the Scale tool. It's usually located right below the Move tool on the left toolbar and looks like a box with an arrow pointing outwards from each corner. Do you see it?
Yes, I think I've got it.
Okay, once you select the Scale tool, you can click on the plane and drag to scale it uniformly, or you can drag the red, green, or blue handles to scale it along a specific axis. Have you managed to scale the plane yet?
Yes, I have. That's great. Thanks.
It looks like you've got the hang of adding, moving, and scaling objects in Blender. Is there anything else you would like to learn about, or are you ready to try something new?
Yeah, how about we add a material to the sphere?
Sure, let's add a material to the sphere. To do this, you'll want to first select the sphere, then navigate to the Material Properties tab, which is located on the right side of the interface. It looks like a sphere icon. Do you see it?
Yes, I think I've got it.
Great, now click the plus new button, which is right above the materials list. This will create a new default material for your sphere. Have you done that yet?
Yes, I have. Can we make the material metallic now?
Yes, you can make the material metallic. In the Material Properties panel, find the Metallic slider, which is under the Base Color setting. You can increase the value to make the sphere look metallic. You see that setting?
Yes, I have. I've cranked it up to 1.
Okay, I can see that the metallic value is set to 1. The sphere should now look like a metallic object. Is there anything else you'd like to do with the materials, or is there another feature you would like to explore?
Okay, so I've added the metallic to the material on the sphere, but it's not showing up in the viewport. How can I get it to show in the viewport?
Okay, the reason why you're not seeing the metallic material in the viewport is because you're currently in solid shading mode. To see the material applied, you need to switch to Material Preview mode, or Rendered mode. These modes are located in the top right corner of the 3D viewport. The icons are a circle for solid, a sphere with shading for Material Preview, and a rendered image for rendered. Try switching to the Material Preview mode first. That should do the trick.
Okay, that's pretty good. Can we test it in final rendered view?
Yes, you can switch to the rendered view to see how it will look when rendered. As you know, the rendered viewport mode is located in the top right corner of the 3D viewport. Click on the icon that looks like a rendered image. That will switch to that mode. You may have to wait for the render to load.
Okay, it looks like it's loaded, but now my entire screen has gone black. What's going on?
Okay, the reason the viewport is black in rendered mode is because there is no light source in the scene. To fix this, we need to add a light. Would you like to add a light source and try to render again?
Yes, could you walk me through adding a light?
Of course, let's add a light. Just like adding a primitive object, you will need to use the Add menu at the top of the 3D viewport. Once you have clicked on Add, you can find the light option in the menu. There are several types of lights available, such as point, sun, spot, and area. Which light would you like to add?
I'm not sure. Which one would you recommend?
For a basic setup, I would recommend either a point light or a sunlight. A point light emits light in all directions from a single point, and a sunlight emits parallel light rays as if from a distant sun. Which one would you like to try?
Let's start by creating a couple of point lights.
Okay, I see you have selected point light from the menu. Go ahead and click that option twice. That will add 2 point lights into the scene. After that, let me know how it looks.
Okay, so it's still black. I think the sphere is covering the lights.
That makes sense. The sphere is likely blocking the light from reaching the camera. You will need to move the lights or the sphere so the lights can illuminate it. Would you like to try moving the lights around or moving the sphere?
Okay, that's great. I can see the lights now. It's lighting up the sphere. But the sphere has this really faceted look to it. How do I smooth it out?
Okay, the reason your sphere has a faceted look is because it's a low poly model. To smooth it out, you can use a modifier called Subdivision Surface. To add the modifier, select the sphere and navigate to the Modifier Properties tab, which is below the Material Properties and looks like a wrench icon. Once there, click the Add Modifier button, then find and click Subdivision Surface. You can increase the level setting in that modifier to increase the smoothness of the sphere.
Whereabouts can I find the Subdivision Surface modifier?
Okay, I can see the Add Modifier menu. Hover over the Generate category, and you should see the Subdivision Surface modifier there. Do you see it in the menu?
Yes, there we go. I've added it.
Great! Now in the modifier settings, you can see Levels Viewport and Levels Render. Increase these values to smooth out the sphere. A value of 2 is usually a good starting point. Did you try to adjust the levels of the Subdivision Surface modifier?
Okay, I've got it set to level 2. That's definitely helped, but it still kind of has this faceted look. How do I get it perfectly smooth?
Have you tried using the Smooth Shading option in Blender? The shading option I was referring to is called Smooth Shading. It's found in the Object menu, and it helps make the surface appear smoother by interpolating the surface normals of the faces. Would you like me to help you find that option in the menu?
Yes, that'd be great, please.
Okay, to find the Smooth Shading option, first make sure that the sphere is selected. Then, go to the top menu and click on Object. In the Object menu, you'll find the option Shade Smooth. Click on that, and it should smooth out the appearance of the sphere. Did that work for you?
Yes, that's great. That smoothed out the sphere.
Great, I'm glad I could help. Is there anything else I can assist you with today?
Yeah, we've got this set up now. Can you show me how to do a final render?
Okay, to do a final render, you'll need to go to the Render menu at the top and select Render Image. Before you do that though, you can adjust the output settings in the Output Properties tab on the right. You can set the file path, format, resolution, and other settings there. Would you like me to help you with those settings, or do you just want to render the image as is?
That's okay. Let's just render the image for now.
Okay, I understand. So to render the image, go to the Render menu at the top of the screen and select Render Image. This will render the current view of your scene. Let me know if it completes, and if you'd like to make any adjustments for future renders.
Okay, it threw an error. It says no camera found in scene. What does that mean?
Okay, the error "no camera found in scene" means that you don't have a camera object set up in your Blender scene. Blender uses a camera object to determine what to render. Would you like me to show you how to add a camera to your scene?
Yes, please.
Okay, to add a camera, go to the Add menu at the top of the screen, then select Camera. This will add a camera object to your scene. Now, you will likely need to position it so that you can see what you want to render. Do you want help with that as well?
Okay, that's great. I've moved the camera. How do I look through the camera?
Okay, to look through the camera, first make sure that the camera object is selected. Then, press the number 0 on your number pad, which will switch your view to the camera's perspective. If you don't have a number pad, you can also go to the View menu at the top, select Viewpoint, and then click Camera. Does that get you into the camera view?
Yes, that's great. How do I move around once I'm in this view?
Okay, now that you are in the camera view, to move around, you can use the WASD keys along with the Q and E keys for up and down. You can also hold down the Shift key to move faster, and hold down the middle mouse button to pan the camera view. Do those controls work for you?
Okay, that's not really moving the camera around, it's just sort of zooming in and out. How do I actually move the camera?
You are correct. The middle mouse button only pans the camera view. It doesn't actually move the camera in 3D space. To actually move the camera object, you will need to press the G key to enter move mode, and then move the mouse to reposition it. Then, click to confirm the new location. You can press X, Y, or Z keys to move the camera along those respective axes. Would you like me to walk through those steps again?
No, that's great. I think I've got the camera set up. Can I do a final render now?
Yes, you should be all set to do a final render. Just go to the render menu at the top and select render image. This will render your scene from the camera's perspective. Let me know how it goes.
This is Google's AI Studio, powered by their Gemini AI. It allows you to record your screen while the AI guides you like a personal tutor. Now, I'm using it for Blender, but it supports many other software too, like Photoshop or Excel. It's currently free, and all you need is a Google account to access it. There will be a link in the description for anybody who wants to try it out for themselves. I was a little disappointed when I asked the AI if it had a name, and it replied that it is a large language model and therefore doesn't have a name. However, on the side panel, you can choose from various different voices, so from here on out, I'm going to be referring to it as Puck. Recently, I published a beginner's tutorial on adding textures. Let's see if Puck is good enough to teach one of my videos. Hello again, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen. It appears you have a 3D model of an eyeball monster in Blender. Is there anything specific you'd like to discuss about it?
Yes, I have some textures that I'd like to add to it. How do I do that?
To add textures in Blender, you'll need to use the Shading tab. Would you like me to go through the steps on how to add textures?
Yes, please.
Okay, first switch to the Shading tab at the top of the screen. Then, select your eyeball monster. You should see a node editor at the bottom. Do you see a node called Principled BSDF?
Yes, I do.
Great. Now, click on the base color option within the Principled BSDF node. You should see a color picker pop up. To add a texture instead of a flat color, click on the little circle next to the color picker. What options do you see?
I'm not quite sure what you mean.
Okay, sorry about that. When you click the circle next to base color, a menu should have appeared. Does that menu have options like image texture, noise texture, or gradient texture?
No, I just get a little yellow line.
Okay, it sounds like you're dragging the connection from the base color option. Instead, try clicking directly on that circle next to the base color, and a menu should appear. Does that menu appear now?
No, I'm not getting anything.
Okay, let's try a different approach. Instead of clicking the circle, try clicking on the word base color itself. Does that open up a menu?
No, nothing.
Okay, it seems like we're having some trouble getting the menu to appear. Let's try adding the texture node directly. Can you press Shift+A and then in the search menu type image texture and click on it when it appears?
Excellent, that seems to have worked.
Great. Now drag a connection from the color output of the image texture node to the base color input of the Principled BSDF node. Then click Open in the image texture node and choose the texture file you want to use. Do you see the texture appearing on your model?
Yes, there we go. My monster has turned green.
Awesome. It looks like the texture has been successfully applied. Do you have any other questions about texturing or other things you'd like to try with your model?
Yes, I also have a normal map and a roughness map I want to apply. Can you walk me through doing that?
Sure. Let's start with the normal map. Just like before, press Shift+A, search for image texture, and add a new one. Then connect the color output to the normal input on the Principled BSDF. Remember to click Non-Color on the color space options of the new texture. After that, you can click Open and choose your normal map file. Once you do that, let's do the roughness map. Do you want me to go through it now, or would you prefer to try the steps on your own first?
So the normal map seems to be giving me some strange results.
Okay, it's common for normal maps to look a bit off if they're not connected correctly. Make sure you have a normal map node between your image texture and the normal input on the Principled BSDF. To add one, press Shift+A, search for normal map, and place it between them. Then connect the image texture to the color input and connect the normal output to the normal input in the principled BSDF node. Does that help?
Yes, that's worked. Can we do the roughness map now?
Yes, let's do the roughness map. It's very similar to the normal map, but simpler. Add another image texture node and connect its color output to the roughness input on the principled BSDF. Then click Open and select your roughness map. This time, we leave the color space as sRGB instead of non-color. Does it look right to you?
Actually, no, that doesn't quite look right. It seemed a little bit too shiny. Are you sure about the sRGB?
You're absolutely right, my apologies. The roughness map should also be set to non-color, just like the normal map. Change the color space of your roughness texture and see if it looks better now.
Yes, that seems to be working. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Is there anything else I can assist you with today?
Okay, so Puck did seem to get a little confused here about clicking on the node port to bring up a menu. Now, to be fair, if you click and drag on one of those node ports and release, it does bring up a menu. So maybe this is what Puck was alluding to. Or maybe Puck was just making stuff up. However, it did recover and was then able to give the correct answer. So this raises some interesting questions. A couple of weeks ago, I put out a poll asking you guys what videos you'd like me to create in the future, and several of them were going to be aimed at beginners, kind of like these two videos already on my channel, which have brought in over 500,000 views between them. In fact, a lot of you watching this right now probably found me through one of these two videos. But this AI is making me question, is it still worth making these beginner-type videos? As good as I think those videos were, they're not better than having somebody watching over your shoulder and literally guiding you in real time. So maybe I should just be sending beginners off to work with this AI, and that leaves me free to make more advanced content for you guys. In fact, why don't we put this idea to the test? Let's see whether or not Puck can handle some more complex tasks, like rigging. Hello, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. How can I help?
I've got a Blender scene open here with a character in it. I was hoping you could walk me through rigging it.
Okay, I see you have a Blender scene open with a green, one-eyed, winged character. You would like help with rigging it. Is that correct?
Yes, please.
All right, let's get started. The first step is to add an armature. Do you know how to do that?
No, could you walk me through it?
Sure. To add an armature, you first need to be in object mode. Then, press Shift+A, go to armature, and then select single bone. Did you do that?
Yes, it's added a bone.
Great. Now you should see a single bone in the middle of your character. Next, you need to enter edit mode to start editing the armature. Do you know how to do that?
No, could you please tell me?
Yes. To enter edit mode, make sure the armature is selected, then press the tab key. Did that work for you?
Yes, I can see edit mode, and I'm now in edit mode.
Okay, great. Now that you're in edit mode, you can start adding more bones to the armature to control the character's limbs. Do you want me to walk you through how to add more bones?
Yes, please.
Okay, to add more bones, select the end of the bone you want to extend, and then press E to extrude a new bone. Where do you want the next bone to be placed?
Actually, I'm having a little bit of trouble seeing the end of the bone. The character is in the way.
I understand. Let's try this. Select the armature, and in the object data properties, under viewport display, select in front. This should make the armature always visible over the character. Did that help?
Yeah, that's great. How do we go about adding more bones now?
Okay, with the bone still selected, press E to extrude a new bone. Then move your mouse to place it where you want it. For example, you can start with 1 for the upper leg. Do you want me to continue guiding you step by step?
Actually, it's not mirroring over to the other leg. How do I get it to mirror the skeleton?
Okay, I see that you've extruded a bone for one leg, but you want to mirror it to the other side. To do this, in edit mode, select all the bones you want to mirror, then go to the armature menu, select Symmetrize. Does that do what you want?
No, it doesn't look like anything happened.
You are right. Symmetrize doesn't work on a single bone. My mistake. Instead, try this. Select the bone you just created, then press Shift+D to duplicate it, then press S and -1, then press Enter. That should mirror the bone on the other side. Did that work?
No, that definitely hasn't worked.
Okay, it looks like we are having some trouble with the mirroring. Let's try this. Select the newly extruded bone, Then press Shift plus S and select Cursor to Selected. Then, in the Armature menu, click Symmetrize. Did that work?
No, that still isn't flipping it.
Okay, I apologize for the continued trouble. It seems like I'm having difficulty guiding you through the mirroring process with the tools in Blender. Instead of continuing with that, would you like me to help you with another aspect of rigging the character? For example, we could work on positioning the bones more precisely, or try using automatic weights. Which of these would you prefer?
Okay, I'm going to step in and give you a little bit of help here. The reason that symmetry isn't working is because you need to name the bone correctly first.
Okay, I see. It looks like we need to name the bones appropriately in order for the Symmetrize tool to work correctly. Since you now have 2 leg bones, could you show me how you would rename those?
Okay, so I've now renamed one of the bones to leg.l.
Okay, I see. It's important to name bones with a .l or .r to indicate whether they belong to the left or right side of the character, so that mirroring works correctly. Now, can you rename the other leg bone to leg cure?
Okay, so I now used the Symmetrize, and it does seem to have worked. I now have another bone called leg.r, and it's on the other side.
Great. I'm glad we got the mirroring to work. Now that you have the basic leg bones mirrored, would you like to continue adding bones for the rest of the body, or would you prefer to move on to another aspect of rigging?
Okay, so I'm trying to move the bone on the left side of the body, and it's not mirroring to the right side. How do I set that up?
Okay, I see that you're trying to move one leg bone and the other isn't following. The bones are not set up to be moved together. You need to enter pose mode. Do you know how to enter pose mode?
All right, I think we're going to call it there. So the AI was amazing at the basic stuff, but very quickly fell apart with more complex topics. Puck kind of feels like that friend down the pub who very confidently tells you they know everything there is to know about a subject, but when you try to pin them down, very quickly changes the subject. Still, Puck knows enough to be genuinely helpful, and I think its knowledge of more common programs like Microsoft Office is going to be even better. While YouTube isn't my full-time job, it does bring in a reasonable chunk of my income, and it's kind of scary to think that some of my work might already be getting replaced by AI. Thankfully, my full-time job does require some reasonably sophisticated animation, so I don't think it's going to be replaced for at least a couple more weeks. The flip side is, oh my god, there has never been a better time to learn 3D, or any software for that matter. Having a personalized tutor who will never get frustrated with you is something truly amazing. So what I would love from you guys is to go and give this Google Studio AI a try and let me know in the comments what you think. It's incredibly easy to set up. Once you've signed in through your Google account, simply go to the Stream Real-Time option on the left and click on Share Your Screen. You'll get a pop-up somewhere on your browser, and you just need to tell it which program or which screen you want to share. After that, you should get another pop-up asking if you want to connect your microphone so you can speak directly to it, or you can choose to type your message if you don't have a microphone. If you could spare a minute or two and go and fill out my poll and let me know which tutorials you think are still even worth making, or which ones you think I should make instead. Your feedback will genuinely shape where this channel goes over the next couple of years. Now, given that I'm probably going to be replaced soon, I think it's only fair we give Puck the final words.
Thanks for watching. It was nice meeting all of you. I'm excited to see what you create, and I'm here to help you every step of the way. Let's make some amazing 3D art together.